Wake up, it's the Tim Stevenson Show. Yo, this is Tim, and welcome to the Tim Stevenson Show podcast. My guest today comes all the way from the Windy City of Chi-Town. My boy Juan Drizzle's in the building. Juan Jarrell, what is up?
Yo, what's going on? How y'all doing, Miami? How's the world doing?
Humid as fuck in Miami. I don't know about if you got humidity in Chicago, but Miami is Miami.
The autumn is here. The fall is here, brother. It's cold outside.
So now jackets already? You're in jackets now, right?
Yes, we in hoodies and masks.
You got the fresh beard cut, right?
Yeah. You know, I had to go out and, go ahead and get myself together. You had me a little nervous. I was trying to pick what shoes to wear on Zoom. I was like,
you're like, you're not gonna see my feet, but it is what it it's because when you tell somebody, hey, can you do a show? Everyone's like, oh, they get like kind of prep, I just say roll organically, you know what I mean, without talking too long. But I've been watching a lot of Joe Rogan. That's where that comes from.
Okay.
Him and I don't know if you watch like Flagrant 2 or like Charlemagne's on one. Brilliant Idiots. And I just study those cats, you know what I mean? And all of them are just doing what we've been learning in school, just finding the synergy between us and letting it flow on, but knowing all that other stuff like the clock and the whole deal.
Most
so
definitely.
What do you want to do? I know you got clothing, right? You're working on this podcasting, you do music, you production, rap, you know what I mean? So do you have an end game or like just a bunch of end games?
A bunch of end games.
Bunch of end games is good though.
I think about it a lot because I'll be like, dang, you be doing too much. Because it's like
you have to.
At some point, I really try hard with the comedy. I really try hard with the music. I've been doing the music more than comedy. So like music comes natural. But like far as the clothing line go, I've been doing that for like 15 years. And it came out of necessity. My hair started to thin a little bit, and I needed a hat. And when I went to go buy a hat, it cost like $45 to get like the personal stitching and all of that. So I had to come up with a plan. I said, I gotta make sure I can represent myself and not pay that much. So that ended up happening, and was doing it for a while for myself, and then it kind of caught on. And like now, I just want to get it off the ground, make sure it's like a worldwide thing. One of my biggest idols is like Carl Kanai, Maurice Malone, the Fubu guys, John, I forgot his name. Damon John.
Yeah, I forgot what his name is. Fubu guy.
Yeah, I think it's Damon John, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
For us, by us. Somebody just bought Fubu, right? Recently?
Yeah. I think it's kind of crazy to say. I don't know if this is true, but like most of the time when people buy companies, it's most likely a white person. So like, I know they bought Death Row. So like a lady bought Death Row. So, but I mean, long as they still, prospering off of it.
I didn't even know. So when Fubu was out, when I was younger, at first I was like, all right, let's rock this Fubu. And then I was like, most Black people didn't wear Fubu, at least in LA. Like, so it was like, but it's like saying, I didn't know about Mecca till I went to New York. So, kind of is what it is. LA is its own thing,
Yeah, most definitely. And that's another thing. Like, just got a chance to, as a young person, got a chance to travel a little bit. My uncle was in the Navy, so like wherever he went, I was there for the holidays. So like I got a chance to see a lot of things, and a lot of stuff that other people didn't see. So it just kind of helped with my imagination a little bit, like trying to get somewhere. But, and I don't mean to, and I don't want to just over talk you, but like,
no.
As far as just radio and broadcasting and things like that, I just, personally, I just want my personality to shine. I know that I'm kind of quick on my feet when it comes to talking to people. The crazy part is, the catch about it is when people talking to me as quick, I don't catch on as fast. I only can speak quickly. So like, but like, like I was saying in class the other day, like, if I can get to the West Coast or somewhere where there's like a chance, somewhere where there's where they need some hype, I will be there,
Right.
So my end game is most likely being a radio personality, podcaster, and just actually just pushing forward with everything as a whole.
Right.
So
and it's good that you want to go places, like when you were saying that about going somewhere where it's not hot and they need it. That's how you have to think. A lot of people don't think that way. You know what I mean? Like, it was the same with me, and I was in country music for a minute, and I was like, well, I'm in LA, there's a bunch of hip hop choreographers, and I'm just as good as them, got the same agent, the whole nine. And I was like, well, I don't know how many black choreographers are in Nashville, but let me go try Nashville, right? So I ended up doing this cat's video in LA, and he was opening for Shania Twain. They called me in, they said, we want to shock the country music world by having these girls do like hip hop in these like boas and feathers and whatnot, right? So it got around real quick. The song went #1. And then every company, Curve Records, Atlantic, you name it, called me every time they wanted me, when an artist wanted a choreographer to do something different, because different was working in country music. But it's the same thing that you're saying. I'm like, if you stay in Chicago,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you're going to be there forever and just be like, okay, well, can I get on anywhere? Same with LA, same with Miami. For me, Miami's good because there's not a lot of black dudes on pop radio in Miami. There's a lot of Latinos. There's a lot of like half-breeds and Cubans, this, that, and the other, but there's not actually a lot of just black.
Yeah.
So just having that voice or the face, of, oh, there's one actually cat on there, whatever, because like right now they're like, oh, okay, well, Tim's, got a personality. He can do this radio thing. That's what I was telling when we were doing that roll call thing. I was like, hey, man, who won the roll call? I sent mine in the same day he gave that. They gave that to us. I was like, yo, man, did anybody win the roll call? I did the SoFlo roll call quick. I was like, hold up. I just dropped it and sent it to him. And then the next day was like, yo, I'm impressed. And I was like, and? Right? And what?
Tell me more.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that was Danny's class, if I'm not mistaken.
That was Danny, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. So, yeah.
School is interesting, man.
It's very interesting, man.
We could talk about
like
I won't even name names, but I might use pet names for some of these people that I'm gonna talk about right now. Because the first block, I was like, all right, everybody's getting to know each other, whatever. And you see things, and you go, okay, well, that cat's like that. Homeboys walking down the street, Las Vegas, whatever. Ding, ding, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, I'm like, what's going on with the dude in the camera? What's going on with the girl eating a salad? What is going on, homeboy falling asleep? The one dude fell asleep. I don't think he ever came back, right? I was like, you're in school, right? People walking on the beach. Oh, yeah. And then for me, especially because, personality started to come into play in the third block, right? So other people were like egotistical about stuff, and everybody was trying to like snatch on everybody else. So I'm like, none of that matters. None of that matters.
Yeah, it really don't. It really don't.
You know what I mean? And that's why I'm trying to calm like the few of us that are kind of in that text feed, like fake out all the madness. It don't matter if you like the teacher. It don't matter if there's people in there got ego problems. You got to do you. That's it. You know what I mean? So if you're in there competing, you're gonna be there still. You're still gonna be there. I'm like, you're not competing against these people. Everyone has their own voice. That's why there are so many podcasts and stuff. So I just try to raise everybody up and be like, hey, I will say this on camera in case Rubens watches this, is that the dude should be banking already.
No, real talk. Rubens' voice is and when I say artistic, it's a lack for better words, but like articulate, I should say.
Right.
It's very articulate. Like what's so crazy about Rubens, he had a whole radio personality before I met him. So like, I didn't tell Rubens this, but like one day I was coming off the elevator to campus, and I think he was leaving or something like that. And I was like, Rubens, like it just hit me like, you the dude I be seeing on the camera. So he's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like nothing, but like I actually pictured him to be like this super tall person. I just seen him as a basketball player, but like,
right.
I think he's like, me and him is like the same height. So it's like,
okay.
it kind of tripped me out. So I'm like, oh, wow. But like, I ain't never get a chance to talk to him about it. Ruben's, he's very reserved. So like, that's pretty cool. Like, I admire that in him. So like,
but he can use that reserved personality to his advantage, right? So Blake Griffin, right, the basketball player, Blake Griffin, just because he knew he could tell a joke, but it was like in his serious vibe, that's what got him all those commercials. Ruben's, as soon as he opens his mouth, all them girls are like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Like, he got that deep, like Isaac Hayes.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he make you tingle inside.
You know what I mean? He walk in the room, he's like, what's up, ladies? And they're all like, damn. Like, some people are just born with it. You know what I mean? But he could be killing the game. I'm just saying, with that voice, he's instantly on a radio station, even if it's just doing, if he wanted to do radio, let's say he wanted to do like an R&B station, he'd be like, yo, man, this is going to be the love line. This is love.
No, most definitely.
Ruben's love line, man. I'm gonna play
that's all I hear when he first spoke. I think it was in orientation. That's all I heard. I was like, this night moves, quiet storm.
Right, quiet storm. That's the one, right? Oh man, it's Ruben with the quiet storm. We're gonna start off with "Sexual Healing" by Marvin Gaye. You know what I mean? Like he just, you're like, damn.
No, you got it.
And then we got the other side of the spectrum, where my pet peeve is, stop cutting the teacher off mid-sentence to talk about something that is irrelevant to what he's teaching at this moment. I'm like, why, do we care what your background is like? No. Do we care that you got to go see your PO? No, that's nobody's business. So why are you doing that on camera? Like, I don't know. I want to hear you talk about, I got to go.
Hey, teacher.
PO. Yeah.
Hey, teacher, I'll be right back. I got to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
You're like, what? Yeah. I got to go see my, I got to go, I'll be right back. I'm going to get something to eat real quick. I'll come back. You're like, why are you even telling them that?
That guy's show altogether was just kind of crazy to me. You kind of think like, I know what I done put on the line here. I know how much money on the line. I know all of this stuff. And like, I just know, as much as the ball has been trying to be dropped, I'm not dropping the ball. So like, to see somebody on camera just like play and just, I don't know, it's crazy. Like it was a few of his episodes was wow.
So I started filming with my cell phone the day we were in a class. I forget what teacher it was, and I was like, anybody else notice 3 boxes up to the left? And Seraphina was like, homeboy is tripping, right? Yeah. And I'm like, you're on your porch in some like EDM concert by yourself. And we're like, yo, dude, turn the camera off. But like, come on now. It's one thing that if you are in that state at 10 o'clock in the morning, is another thing that you turn the camera on and let all of us know what you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Did you catch him so he was on the subway platform. I don't know if you caught that one day. He was laying down on the subway platform, like while he was in class, and he was the main person asking questions that day. I think we had Mike Reyes in the class.
Mike Reyes, I love Mike Reyes.
Yeah. He turned that camera on and he was laying on the ground, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then he turned the camera sideways. You can see the trains pulling up, people walking past. And I'm like, are you homeless? Like, what's going on? I don't know, but like just real odd behavior.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, it was one time homegirl was behind him and he was in the room and he kept getting up and getting right in the camera lens. No, teacher. I'm like, hey. Yeah, after the third question, I understand if you have questions, because there's a few people who ask too many questions, right? But you're asking a question, sit back down. Get up, answer the question, sit back down. Anybody would go, it is possible. I go, anybody could go, what's wrong with this dude? And we're all looking at him, all 30 of us at that point, and I'm like, dude, somebody, and I told her, I go, he actually needs real help. Like, he needs real help.
He really do. You know
what I mean? I'm like, we don't want this dude to like die on us. Chicago's hard enough, right? So like, Yeah. But he does that, and then he got another sidekick on this end. I won't name that person, but
I was like, I know exactly who you. I call him.
Same thing. Hey teacher. Hey teacher. What? This is a really cool resume. what? I'm like, I'm going, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you that we got to do all that? All right. Those questions like pause, middle of class, or he's in mid, that's one thing I like about Mike Reyes. Mike knows when you're not listening. So he's like, yo, bro, like, you know what I mean? He's like, come on, man. And then people are trying to be accommodating, some of the teachers. I said, but we waste a lot of time on bullshit. I mean, it's just like, we don't need to know about that. How long is this story about your personal life going to go on before we can learn some more stuff? You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to work. That's why Abel was mad all the time. Abel was like, man, people are wasting my time. And then they would like fight about it. And I go, don't let anybody get to you. You just do you. The hard part is this is school. And yes, it's very like concentrated. But you have to remember, there's a bunch of people in the room that to them, this is their first year in college. That's why people fell off already. They don't really know what they want. They kind of want, but they don't want to learn everything.
Yeah.
So they get disinterested when it's too much radio and not enough TV, or vice versa, or we're learning about websites and whatnot. And what they're trying to teach us is that until you're banking, until you got Joe Rogan, you got, that money, you got Ebro money, you got Breakfast Club money. Until you have that, you got to do everything. Like this podcast, right?
Yeah.
I record the podcast. I did the little jazz on the microphone. I take this footage, I put it in the block, and I put your picture up, and I do this whole banner. I'm doing all the work. So they don't understand that point. It's like, stop. The money is in the little things. The money is in the places that you hate, right?
Yeah.
Because if it was easy to do that, you would already be doing it. You wouldn't be in school. So you got to learn those things you hate, because that's where the money is. Right now, you can do things you didn't know before. Like, oh man, I used to edit music. I've been editing music forever. I never had to keyframe music, so I already knew, like in Pro Tools and in Audition or whatever, how to edit, because I have that concept down. I've been doing that since I was like 18. But keyframing the audio for your voiceover in a radio space, I had never done. So, I mean, it was quick for me because it's easy to go, okay, you keyframe thing. But, I never really said keyframe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like an After Effects, a keyframe. You're like, okay, keyframe. Like, oh, you time it here, you do that.
Same here.
But once you start to grasp the concept, it's kind of all the same. Like everything works in layers. Your Photoshop works in the same kind of layers as your After Effects or your Premiere. And then, the Audition is still layers. You got this up here, you got your sweepers, you got your rejoiners, you got whatever. So now we're applying what we did before now in this, like the news side. Now you just mimic the news. So basically yesterday I was just watching like different newscasts, like, oh, live so-and-so, we're going to go to so-and-so. She's standing in front of the building where they're protesting Breonna Taylor verdict, whatever, right? They're like, oh, I'm standing here out front of the blah, blah courthouse, and then they go, they interview people, and they're like, we don't understand, like, say her name, and doing all that jazz. Knowing what we already know, it starts to make more sense now. Now I'm starting to see all those little things, right?
Yeah.
And so when people get caught up in class, I'm always like, just be quiet. Just take the nuggets and go. Take the nuggets and go. I mean, some people, like, I know Serafina wants it. You know what I mean? So constantly like, oh, don't get distracted by the bullshit. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Don't let that affect you. I said, because it'll be worse when you get out.
Yeah.
That nonsense still goes on. Doesn't matter where you're at.
True that.
You know what I mean? I was I got hired. That's why I'm always like on my game about stuff. So when we were doing the resumes, the reason why I already had it is because a month and a half ago, I had already submitted my resume to the media school employment department. I was like, oh man, this is COVID. I need a job. I need to do radio. I need to do something. I got the skills. So they helped me map that out. And they were like, this is perfect. The day after, I got an internship at Onyx Digital Media, which is like a new record label that's popping up. But the Cat Mosin has been on with everybody. Khaled, Chris Brown, Kodak, you name it. So cut to my internship is just me editing these promo videos for Onyx Digital site they just launched yesterday.
Okay.
The other side is, he goes, that I can probably get paid for, is he wanted a stage manager, and he flew back to LA, and or not stage manager, but a manager of the production manager that day. So it was Hot Boy and Plies, right? So I drive up to Tampa, and I'm the guy. But I've been on sets before. That's why I got the internship so fast. And so I'm on set, and it's straight hood video. I mean, you know how that works. So I mean, you know, we're doing a hood video. The PA is first time on the job, and he's like this little white kid. And I'm like, don't worry, I said, just roll with me, just trust me. Because he was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, it's unorganized. It's a hood video. What's gonna happen is everyone's gonna get wind that Plies and Hot Boy are there, and you just see cars rolling up, Mercedes, whatever, all kinds of, you know, just hood kids in expensive cars, right? So I already know what's going on. So when I rolled up first, I had rolled up to this black car with tinted windows, and everyone was like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Hey," I go, "Hey, my name's Tim. I'm production manager for Most." And oh, okay, cool, you know. And then they go, "Oh, all these guys say, you know, they got us, whatever." And I look, and I'm like, because I just knew, right? Because I'm like, I was born in the hood of Long Beach, so I grew up around like Snoop and then all those cats.
That's gang new.
You know what I mean? You know, Baby Kids and all them. You know, Ray, Shasha, like everybody. Like, so I had to tell this kid though. I said, "Hey man," I said, "just so you're at peace." I go, "This is a hood video." He goes, "I don't know what that means," because he's from West Palm Beach. I was like, "That means every dude behind us has a ratchet in their pants right now." Yeah. What? No, man, this is a hood video. It's just sex. Look around. Right? Sure enough, end of the video, right? Had to be like 6 o'clock. And so it started to rain. That kind of was killing it. And then we hear pop, 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 but it's coming from like across the street. And I was like, and then he went to go take a piss and he came around the corner, his eyes were this big, right? And then all of a sudden he pop, 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 pop. And I'm standing by the truck looking at footage. Yeah. Anybody hear that? I don't know. And he's looking at me, and he walks up, and I go, "Oh, just don't worry about it. Just chill." Yeah. What he saw was everybody pulled their ratchets out, right? As soon as they heard the gunfire, like 8 dudes in it.
Oh, wow.
You know, because if you see Plies and Hot Boys videos, they're all guns, right? So you know everybody's packing. He's looking like, what just happened? I go, it's Florida. It's the Wild Wild West. Everybody's packing. You know what I mean?
It's so made for TV. Or too hot for TV.
It's like, it's too hot for TV. You're not going to see that, right? And I was like, "Yo, man, it's good. You're good." Because he was like, "What?" And I was like, I said, "You didn't look up Hot Boy videos? You didn't look up Plies videos? Ain't nothing but goons and gangsters and guns, and they take the gun out of the barbecue. They're like, 'Hey, what's up?' You know, it's like this big."
Yeah, pretty much. Like, we'll shoot this meat.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You're like, it is what it is. So he was like, "Oh man, okay." I was like, "Just chill." I mean, they got us, if anything, right? We're on their team, so we're good. But you just never know. And the point of all that was like, you never know how it's going to land in school. People forget all the teachers are working. Yeah. Like now they're working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So have you run into D Stone at all? Like on that side?
I actually ran into D Stone a few times. Actually pretty much see him every time I'm on campus. He stopped by the room and say what's up. You know, he actually, if you listen to what D Stone said and like what he was talking about as far as his come up, like he was saying he was in like Kansas City or something like that, and he turned down a job in Hawaii and certain things like that. But like, yeah, he didn't start in Chicago. But like, no, I see D Stone a lot. I made sure he got a Drizzle cap and a Drizzle shirt.
Oh, cool.
We got a, what they call it, we got a photo op together. So
cross promote.
Yeah, most definitely. So,
yeah. You have to. That's the thing. And that was the whole point that I was making is every teacher is connected. Every single one. So to be in the room or to even send messages like, "I don't like the other teacher," is like standing in front of Kanye and telling him, "I don't like Jay-Z." And you're going to tell him, you're going to tell that person don't like you. Now you're ruining your own opportunity about an opinion about a person you don't really know that well.
Yeah, that's true.
So don't even waste your time. You got a problem with it, deal with it yourself off camera. Because Carlos has an Emmy. People forget. So I know his personality, especially in the first block, people didn't like it. And I go, get over it. It doesn't matter if you don't like his personality. I said, you've been in a room to watch YouTube and watch Dame Dash scream at people. And you're worried about Carlos?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm like, people like Dame Dash, there's more than 50 of those up there.
Oh, yeah.
Popular, can call anybody. Everybody answers the phone. Get over Carlos if you don't like him. They're not always going to have a personality you like. But Carlos, if he likes your work, may tell somebody how dope you are.
True that.
You feel me? Right? So when I got called yesterday, I got called to do an intern on Saturday for this like TV company, but they wanted a cameraman. Why did I get the call? Because Gus Santoro, who was our teacher, and another cat were like, oh, you need a camera guy. You should call Tim. You know how many camera people they know?
True that. So that's crazy that you say that. Like, it's been opportunities, you know. That's when I text you that one time about the music.
Oh, about
video.
the music video. Yeah,
that was by way of the school, you know.
Okay.
Which was pretty cool. I don't know. I think I sold myself a little bit too high, but like the guy, I don't know.
He just do it to get the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wanted something for the low, and I really was trying to aim too high. But also they gave me well, the lady never called me back, but like the Northwestern Hospital out here, they wanted like a 30-second promo, and I told the lady like, let's go, you know, I saved her number and everything. Lady, I called the lady back. She didn't answer the phone. So I really don't know what happened right there. But just recently, the Cortez, the guy who pretty much runs the place around there on campus, he was telling me that they need like a cameraman to like go to different areas. I guess where graduates where graduates work, you know, little workspaces where graduates have where they work at now and get footage. So I told him, hey, I'm down. Like you know, he said it'll count towards my internship hours. So like, I told him, whatever I can do for real, like, please take my time. I'm a sponge right now. That's the way I feel. Like, you know,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
you're supposed to do that. And like you said, take advantage of those opportunities because you're getting internship hours. It's for school, but these dudes do real jobs. And they're gonna call you because they trust Wantrell, right? They're gonna be like, okay, no, he worked for us. He's an intern. We know he got this. So, you know, now we got a budget for him because now he's not interning. Let's get him on the team. That's how you do it. I mean, I don't know if you know anything about Charlemagne the God's background, right?
Yeah.
But there are moments like he worked for Wendy Williams for a minute, you know what I mean, for a hot minute, right? But if you watch Catfish, right? There are episodes of Catfish where Charlemagne is the camera guy.
Really?
Yeah, you got to watch it. There's a few, like you could probably just YouTube, like, oh, Charlemagne the God is a cameraman on Catfish. Because I remember, and I was like, that's Charlemagne, and he talks on camera. You know, because the two guys that are the leads were like, I don't know, what do you think, Charlemagne? He was like, well, I was like, yo, man, Charlemagne's a cameraman. But
and he give an opinion.
Right. But like so people don't understand, especially when they're new, how sometimes this whole climbing the ladder thing works, right? So if you watch, do you know who Trevor Noah is?
Yeah.
Talk show Trevor Noah, right? So Trevor Noah got a job as Trevor Noah because he was replacing the slot that Stephen Colbert had when Stephen Colbert went from cable to regular TV, and now he's late night with Stephen Colbert, right? He's on the same time as Jimmy Fallon. It's like Fallon, Colbert, right? Those are the top two. So Trevor, right, took Colbert's place. Colbert used to be in Trevor's place, and Trevor was a writer and a guy who would kind of pop in and pop out and do little bits on Colbert's show. Colbert had replaced, Jon Stewart, right? So it's like Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert, and it just that's why you always see Jon on Colbert's show, and you'll see because they're friends and they're all in that same camp. But see how they all climb the ladder? Some of them were writers before they were on the show. So Michael Che, right, who's on Saturday Night Live, right? He does the news with Colin, right? Well, Michael Che was writing as a comedy writer before he was ever in front of that camera, and most of them were like that.
Wow. Yeah.
You hear Gary Owen and all of them talk about how they were writing and wrote. I would write stuff and then write skits for other comedians. They would give other comedians jokes, whatever it is, before they boom. And now it's their time to shine, right?
Yeah.
People forget Cat Williams used to be a resident comedian on Wild 'N Out before he blew up.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nick is the one who put him on. Right?
Yeah. It's another guy. He's a comedian. His name is Alex what is it, Alex Thomas? He was saying that he got a job with Will Smith. He was at a comedy club doing stand-up, and Will Smith was there that night, and he ended up writing for the Fresh Prince and stuff. And he said, he ended up opening up a whole new door for him. He said he never really wrote for nobody before or for a show. So like, yeah, he did a lot of writing, and I was like, wow, like,
It's the same way with music. It's the same way. Like, so as a dancer, I used to do like some of the dance stuff on Mad TV, right? So, but prior to that, I would study comedy and do sketch comedy. So I was like, I already knew everybody's bit. I grew up with Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, all the way up to Martin Lawrence in his prime, and so on and so forth, right? So Ari Spears is an actor on Mad TV, right? Mm-hmm. Talented, right? I mean, he's the only black guy on the show. There's a black girl, Deborah, who's on the show, and then him. So I was there one day as a dancer, and I was just chilling, and everybody kind of went to the green room, whatever, and I was just chilling, watching them rehearse other skits kind of in the dark. And comedian, actor Martin Short, who's a little Jewish guy, was supposed to be coming in from Malibu to do his bit, right? Well, he was late, and they didn't know if he was even going to make the blocking. And they're like, we need somebody to stand in and read his lines. And I was all click.
Yeah, most definitely.
Right? So they call me, and they go, oh. So then I read his lines in an accent, right? I read his lines in an accent, and they were like, oh, it's funny. The people think you're funny, this, that, and the other. A week later, they call me and go, hey, man, can you come in and audition to play Little Richard opposite Ari Spears playing Bill Cosby?
Wow.
And they're playing Scrabble, and it's like Bill Cosby, Evander Holyfield, Little Richard, and another person. And him going, fribble, the frabble, and frap, and doing the whole Bill Cosby thing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And then one was Don King. He goes, my word is pacification. Blah, 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 blah. He's like doing the Don King thing, and I'm doing Little Richard, all made up. And then he would switch roles, right? Mm. But I got it because I had another skill set, and I grabbed the opportunity, and I was there. So the point is, when that cat calls you to say, do this video, you never know who's coming to the set. You never know who's affiliated with that person. You never know. That's why when people start piping off stuff, you just kind of like take it with a grain of salt. Don't have an argument, right? So I know Tarsha came at me one day, right? Oh, yeah. I got mine in first, and Ryan didn't win. And I was like, look, the point isn't to get it in first. The point is that it had to be done right.
Yeah.
You got to get it in first and have it done right. It wasn't because anybody could just, I'm done. And it sounds like crap. But he had it right. And I was like, yo, I'm sorry, but Ryan got this one. So Ryan was texting me, oh, well, Tarsha's out to get you. I'm like, Tarsha's fine. So then, like, now cut to last week when we did this TV show. What happened is I never really had a conversation with Tarsha, even though we were in the same breakout room one time. Then they played my video of the Truly video that I shot, which is a real commercial. And somebody else saw it. And then next thing I know, Tarsha's driving in a car. She's like, Tim, when I come to Miami, you and me need to work together. And I was like, that's the Tarsha. That's the Tarsha you want. See, now I've got past all the crap, and now you could just be Tarsha and not be like, who are you? You know how sometimes you just got to bark, and then the dogs are cool. Like, that's kind of how it was, right? I was like,
no. I see that in a lot of Chicago people, everybody come like that, with this big bark, but like, if you just chill, you can see who's who, you can see, like a lot of people, if you shut up, you could, and I hate to say this, I hate to say use people to your advantage, but you can see what skill sets some people are good at, so maybe they can help you. You know what I'm saying? So like, instead of judging people right away, sometimes it's best to just, keep it closed until I don't know, but
But
a lot of people are intimidated, though. You know, that's another thing. A lot of people are intimidated.
I mean, our people are. I mean, we have to get past this whole black people like it's about me, black people thing. You know what I mean? Like that's the reason why Tyler Perry and everybody is winning. Instead of saying I got mine, you can't get next to mine.
Yeah.
Like let's all make black films. How about we all get up this ladder? How about we all move in that direction? Stop being like it's about me, it's about you, it's about us. But everybody's word, like, because you know, we were taught like, okay, you might be the only black person on that show. So you're trying to dog your boy because you're like, I need this and I need, you know what I mean? You're like, come on. Or you help each other, right? Like all the other groups. Why you think you see all them Jewish people all in the same movies all the time? They just rotate them around. You see like Seth Rogen, all those people, Adam Sandler. It's always the same.
The Pineapple Express.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They like help each other out. Even actors, they do that. I mean, not actors, but like even singers, like some on TV shows. So a lot of them. So let's say like back in the day, you know, Fallon put this artist on, and the artist was just kind of coming up, but gave him some shine. And then later on, they blew up, and now she's Katy Perry. Now Katy Perry comes back and does Fallon because now it's helping him.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
That's why they'll say, I remember when we first met years ago. You know what I mean? You see a comedian say the same thing. Like Jamie Foxx, you talk about all the parties he would throw, and everybody would be up in there. Kanye, Pharrell, Jay-Z, everybody. Like in the day where they were just like they were about to like go.
Yeah, about to be on.
And Jamie captured their way up. His big old camcorder and did the whole thing. You know, I was like, all right, you know. So he's been in the game. People forget he's been around a minute. You know, so I try to tell people, say, look, this relationship is not really about right now. It could be 4 years from now when you walk into a room and Carlos is standing there.
Yeah. Yep. And you like, what the heck?
So is he gonna remember that one moment?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Carlos, people forget he's got an Emmy for a reason.
Yeah, real talk. You'd be like,
Edgar's always
one drum. We can hire this guy.
He's like, don't. Oh, they don't like my class, huh? You don't like my haircut either. Yeah, you know. And I'm like, and like Edgar, D Stone, everybody. Even Lethea gave me props last week. She was like, "Damn, I saw your commercial." You know, I was like, "Thank you."
That's what's up.
You know, because you never know. We're gonna see Lauren. We're gonna see them somewhere.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, I remember you from Illinois Media School. That's right. Cool. Yeah. Oh, you trained with Edgar? Oh, you trained with. You know what? I'm gonna have something for you. Boom.
Yep. Most definitely.
All the skill sets. There's a couple that fell off this past month, and I think I'm gonna say she. And I won't name names, but
yeah, I already know who you talk about. I've been kind of worried about it myself. So
yeah,
I've been keeping track of everybody, Tim. I kind of
we got the core group, you know.
One guy dropped out and became a real rapper. Like he got a new album dropping and everything. He inboxed me telling me to share it. I said, man, I ain't got time to do this right.
You're like, you know, but people, I'm worried about her. Couple reasons. I mean, she's another one of those, you know, in the mic ones. But like, then she got sick, and then on Instagram she like lost her husband's car. Like, so I don't know what was going on there. And then we never heard from her again. And then she was supposed to be in our group for this last project, and so it just basically was just me and Abel in Miami, and then we were working with Rubens and Janaya, right? So I mean, it ended up being dope anyway. But I was like, well, what happened to that person? What happened to that person? Homeboy, he's actually in Miami. I forget another black kid is in Miami. But every time I see him, he's like walking on the beach.
Yeah.
How do you take notes walking on the beach while you're staring at your phone?
That's funny.
They're not like they don't take it seriously, but like teaching the young ones, I guess I should say, but like teaching the people all the things that maybe we weren't always taught when we were younger, because whatever situation you were dealt, right? So, but you got to come up. You're in school for a reason. You made the choice. Right?
True that.
So unlearn what you've learned is easy to be okay with failure. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
People like to be comfortable. Oh, you know, it's the hat I always wear. Yeah, that's why you ain't been. That's why you ain't got nowhere. You know what I mean? That's why you ain't got nowhere. You're so busy doing you. That's why people are like, I'm just being real. That's okay, but you're playing a game in the industry that's a business. So you can be as real as you want. Your platform is going to be whatever it is. Maybe that realness works. Maybe it does not. But going through school and being like, I'm real, like you're trying to change the dynamic of what they're teaching us is not your place. That's if you had your own business, you could do what you want. You know what I mean? And I just try to tell them and say, hey, you know, we're all here. Just get over yourself.
Yeah. And this is what I say, because, you know, even about just, I don't know, everybody, you know, as I watch, you know, I chime in on certain things. Sometimes I be quiet about certain things, but like, don't judge me on who I interact with. Just judge me by the progress. And if you see my face next week or the next week, you know, so like, yeah, you know, you got to kind of have tunnel vision a little bit. And like you said, you cannot get comfortable. I had when we first started, you know, I was in a very uncomfortable situation. You know, I was like having anxiety attacks on camera. And I don't think nobody knew this, but like, I was just like going crazy. It was my first time going to school in 20 years. You know, I didn't get you know, I usually do certain trades and things like that, but just to quit all of that and just say I'm gonna go to school and actually be about the things that I truly want to do that I've been doing already. It took a lot out of me, and you know, just some of the personal situations. But anyway, you have to. Those distractions are going to come. I don't care if it's the people in the class or somebody knocking at your door right now, or you know, all of that stuff. It's up to you. You know, it's about how bad you want it. You know, like I tell people, you know, that homeless man out there in Chicago or out here, wherever I'm at, you know, whoever want a drink, they're going to get a drink at the end of the day. They're going to ask every soul they see until they get the money for what they want. You know what I'm saying? So you have to feel that same way. You have to, you know, I'd have these downtimes, but I have to, you know, you got to pick back up. Okay. All right. Clean yourself up. You know, all right. You done. Your pity party over. You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta, there's a cat named Eric Thomas, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
The hip hop boy. He had some things to say that just changed my life that I just post a lot, and just as a reminder to myself, you know, like about how much do you want it? Do you want to sleep more? You want to play games more? You want to walk on the beach more? I said, when you look at my screen, 9 times out of 10, I got a stack of notes because I'm always taking notes, even if I know it. There may be a nugget in there that I forgot that could change my life. So I'm constantly like, oh, Tim's got notes. Oh, I got notes for days. That's why he was asking the question. I'm like, I wrote this down. HR something. Oh, it means this, right? Because I'm like, look, you got to learn. But Eric Thomas would say stuff like that, like your value system has to change, right? You got to get uncomfortable. Like I used to post this thing on it. He said he was in Australia, and he said, turn from a gazelle to a lion. He's like, being a gazelle,
I shared that post.
You're lion. Why? Because if you don't kill it, your family won't eat.
Yes, most definitely.
And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Right.
And what's so crazy about some of the things that's being said is like, people don't get it. Like they can hear it and it won't travel to the deep parts of their brain, to their heart. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's almost like listening to a song and liking the beat, you know? So like, you know, everybody don't feel that way. So, but like the people who hear it, they hear it, you know? And when I seen it, I was like, it touched me. I was like, I got to share this. Cause that's the way I feel, you know?
Right.
You got to, I don't know. I might have the wrong reasons for some of the wants of my success as of right now, but like they still mean the same thing as, you know, the way I wanted it as a young person. You know, I didn't live a little bit and went through some things, so now I want it greater. Like I want to show them. You know what I'm saying? Type of feel.
You show with success. You know, you can't use vengeance, I guess, as the driving part of your success. But it feels good when you get there to be like, I did this shit. You doubted me. Have a nice day. You know what I mean? I feel, because I got tons of that. I had that before I started in this industry anyway. Mm. Oh, you're gonna dance? I was like, well, because I was a jock my whole life. I was a varsity football and soccer player, but I was like $150 maybe, right? And I'm getting drafted to schools where I'm running a 4.5 40, but the running backs are also running a 4.5 40, but they're 100 pounds heavier than me. Oh. I was like, I'm not gonna make it past spring training, like, you know what I mean? Okay. So, but I always wanted to do comedy, so I started performing arts in college, and then I was, did all that, and that was kind of like my rise to fame. And I forgot what I was gonna say, and it just slipped my mind. I don't know what happened. But like I said, like you said, you were living through some things. You lived through some things, but those are the things that kind of make you better. Like a lot of people who lose a family member, or they just went through some shit and they finally reconnected with their dad, and it changed their life. Like a Michael Jordan style or whatever. And we all have those things in everybody's life, no matter what kind of walk of life you came from. I said, people forget rehab centers are full of people who can afford to go to rehab. Mm. The wellness centers, which is like a step above, are rich people who can afford $1,000 a week. Passages, which is like where the celebrities go in Malibu, is a rehab center, but it's like 10 grand a month. You gotta be rich to get that rehab.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
It was like, oh, you just go to rehab. Okay, well, yeah. Or you can do the one at the county, right? You walk into the church on whatever, and everybody's sitting in the circle, and you're like, yo, my name is Tim, and I'm going to do these 12 steps, whatever that is for you, right? But, I just go, do you want to be something else? And stop competing. So when I stopped competing against other people, that's when I started to succeed. Because there's only one Drell. There's only one Tim. There's only one D Stone. There's only one Seraphine.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I mean? So your mindset as black folks has got to be, you got to switch it and stop. I mean, the problem is that we're rewarding some of that same nonsense, right? Mm. If you're like, maybe you're not Kodak or you're not Tekashi, but you're the dudes who hang out with them.
Yeah.
And you're kind of getting paid to be around. They don't want to do nothing. They're getting paid to be the entourage.
Yeah.
They don't really want to learn anything. Then you get like a couple cats who get around it and start dissecting how it all works. And that dude ends up owning the company.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's what I did. When I was on tour, I toured with a few people, Usher, Jennifer Lopez. But just hanging out with them was hanging out with them. When I wasn't hanging out with them, I was talking to the guitar tech or the computer guy or the pyrotechnic guy or all these other people. So then when you start speaking their language, they're like, oh, and I've gotten referrals from the guitar tech guy. Hey, man, I know somebody, I know the artist, and they need a choreographer. Can I give him your information? Why? Because I've spent the time to figure out what he's doing. Mm. Because I knew networking is networking. It's not just the people that are doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if you're doing radio, you network with radio people, but you might network with the lighting guy. Why? Because he may be a cousin of somebody who's about to start a network called Peacock, and now they want you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah.
You gotta, and it's hard when you're, when people are in and out of it. I know, like, retooling for most people. Serafina, she would just send me text messages like, "I'm just not feeling it." I was like, "Hey, knock that off.
Yeah.
You're good. Just trust yourself." The problem is just she thinks her work's not good. Your work is good. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. You just keep going. Knock them down and keep riding, because you can see other people. Crystal, very confident.
Yeah. I love Crystal.
Well-spoken, very confident.
That's my
has an agenda. I'm here to succeed. And you can hear it when she speaks.
Yeah.
Janai is the same way. Janai was
most definitely.
First block, but now she's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's other people in that room like, do I need to know about your business? No. I said, look, there are dudes in there that got nothing to do all day.
Yeah.
But they're busy doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. And then you got Rosalind, got like 4 kids, and she's still in class.
Yeah, for real.
Lazy woman. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We did Row and the Go, and we were like, we got kids in the background. It's part of the show. She's got kids at home and kids in high school all at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what you're saying is there's no excuse.
There's no excuse. I mean, look, just think about all the people that we talk about now, especially in black film, right? Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman, not worried about what people are thinking. Let me go to work. Yep, now I'm the first black superhero on a major motion picture.
Wow.
Regina King, people like that. Will Smith, Denzel, Freeman, go down the list. Jamie Foxx, all them cats. You know what I mean? Terrence Howard, like everybody on Empire. You know what I mean? It's just like, or everybody on Power. You know what I mean? Like even 50. People don't understand. 50 is a mogul.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah.
Ice Cube, they are moguls. Those dudes, they're not sitting around anymore. They did that when they were young.
Yeah, he ain't the street thug from the first album, 50. You know what I'm saying?
He's
like
worth like 10 grand, like or more. You know what I mean? And his diamonds are probably worth $1 million. He got $1 million around his neck walking in the room. People get, so once you start thinking entrepreneur, I said, okay, the younger Kanye for me, I like. This new Kanye, suspect. I think he's too many opioids. Whatever it is, he needs to go fix it. Because he's still got some genius in him.
Yeah,
now,
he do.
Part of the problem is that sometimes he's saying stuff that is golden. People aren't hearing it because his antics are blocking what he's saying.
Yeah, it's overcrowded.
He starts rattling off people like Ford, ding, and if you're Cat Williams, you're like white, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But what he's saying, and what he said before that was, if I walk into a room and I want to sell a suit, how come it has to be an Urban line?
Gotcha. Yeah.
How come it just can't be a suit?
Yeah, yeah.
When you're black and you walk into a room full of fashion people, they're like, oh, he's doing an Urban line. I said, well, what if I'm doing what Victoria's Secret's doing? Does that still make it urban? It's only urban because you're black. It ain't urban because what you're making is black. Tommy Hilfiger says more clothes to black people, even though he don't like black people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't make that line because he thought black people were going to wear it. That just happens to be how it is.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? But no one's saying that Tommy Hilfiger is an urban clothing line.
True that. Never heard that being called an urban clothing line before.
But guess, you know what I mean? It's like, to me, it's like rap music. And I don't know about in Chicago, but in California, 90% of the people who bought NWA and all these records were white kids.
Yeah, yeah.
White kids made NWA wealthy.
True that, because we wasn't listening to it. I mean, I know I wasn't. I was too young.
We were on the low, but I couldn't just go get it, and we didn't have the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The music video or nothing. Once that came out.
We were like, oh, I got enough to get like one cassette tape, or one record, or one whatever it was, or CDs,
The little singles. I remember they used to sell the single cassette tapes where you get that one song and then you get the instrumental on the other side of the cassette.
Or you get you get lucky to get a B-side song that would make the record, but it was on the single.
There you go, like the wackest song on that album.
And you're like, oh man, they got a B-side. You're like, it sucks, but all right,
Yeah.
But so what's next? I mean, how's Chicago right now? I know with this whole Breonna Taylor crap, we're gonna just slide over here for a minute, but like the Breonna Taylor thing, just the general COVID still around. Florida today, our governor decided, fuck it, everybody open.
Really?
That's what he said. DeSantis was like, everything's open. You have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But everything is open. That means the bar's open. That means the club's open. That means social distancing is about to go away in Florida. Whether or not we get a spike or not is a whole other question. But he just said it today. Oh, so now there's all this controversy because now all of a sudden they're like, haha, free reign. What's the first thing they're going to build up? Bars, pool
Pretty
parties,
much.
Right? Bars, parties, bars, hotel parties, and bars and clubs.
Don't forget bars.
Bars. Because the bars where the money's at. Right?
Yeah, no, really. And
so you're like, this is all going to change. So like yesterday, went to the spot, wear a mask coming in and there was all the tables. Now, if I'm a restaurant owner and I got 50% of my tables out and DeSantis just said you can open up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every table's coming back. So they're not going to worry about social distancing. Watch.
At all. No, they ain't gonna worry about social distancing. When I was just in Memphis, like it was like the first weekend of them opening up from social distancing. And when I went to Beale Street, it was packed. It was like you could have swore like they was having a concert or somebody was out there famous or something. But like, yeah, no, it was just people was happy to get out the house. It was filled up. So like, yeah, and it wasn't no social distancing. You see people with masks, some people didn't have masks, but out here, it's the same thing. Like, I think out here, you know, it's a lot of places still boarded up from, oh man, from the, I don't even, it's so much stuff that happens out here. So much, it's hard to keep up with it. You know, so like, yeah, but anyway, they raided the downtown area, which was like right down the street from the school. I didn't think we was gonna be able to get in school that week, but the school was open. So, but like, yeah, the places are open. I think some of the businesses from COVID didn't recover. So, you know, you got a lot of, I say there's a high percentage of businesses that didn't open back up, but majority of them open back up. But like, yeah. As other than that, man, I've just been staying away from people for real.
You have to. I mean, right now it's interesting. I mean, it's just interesting. Even Miami, I'm like, I've been to LA twice. Same thing. It was in Hollywood. Just like it's weird, you know. I'm just hoping it all ends. It goes back to somewhat normal. I guess that's why DeSantis is doing it. Some people like it, some people don't. I think the problem is that we can stay closed till next year. Like we're going into the holidays, right? People gonna spend money. So if you open it up, city makes more money, you got more money to work with. With that being said, they still take precautions, but you can have everybody in the club with the mask on.
And still get it. I'm sorry.
Right? And you get COVID walking into the grocery store. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. All I know is that the world has changed. That's for damn sure.
So my biggest, man, so I tell you some facts about COVID, some crazy facts about COVID. COVID helped a lot of people, first of all, find out that they breath stank. I don't think a lot of people knew their damn breath stank that damn bad.
Yeah.
You put that mask on and be like, what the hell?
Right.
So that was one thing.
Right.
Like, another thing I really hate, that this is one thing I truly hate, and it happens a lot, is just seeing people's eyeballs in the store like this.
Oh yeah, like when you're trying to talk with your eyes now.
Ninja or like a Egyptian queen goddess. I don't know. It's crazy to see people's eyes, and it's like they be looking hard too. I'll be like, oh my god.
And please. You don't know because you can't see it, right? So it's like this. Like, oh, am I mad? Am I happy? Yeah. What is it?
So, and I think that's the biggest part for me that I like, is that nobody can see my facial expression, because.
Well, and for the first time in all our lives, we can walk into a building with a mask on, and no one feels threatened. They're not like, crazy, oh, here comes the robber, right?
Wow, that is crazy.
It's changed, man. It has changed. Well, I'm not going to take up too more of your time. Too much. I can't talk. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I'd like to thank Juan Drizzle for his time. I know it's rough out there in Chi-Town. Brother, stay protected. Stay out of the crowd. You got to tuck and roll in the Chi-Town, in the Chi. That's what it's up. I don't know if they still call it Chirac or not, but there's a lot going on in your town.
Yeah. It's the rack, but they call it the rack now. I don't know
rack.
Why,
they just take the shot out, right? They call it the rack.
But I really
that has more than one meaning. But you know,
yeah.
Dang.
Yes. But no, I was just gonna say thank you for having me, and I appreciate it. And I'm Juan Drizzle on all platforms. It's been a pleasure to do this, man. Like seriously, look forward to you coming to my show soon.
Yes,
soon as it get launched. But man, thank you.
All right, my brother. Out.